Move from coal. What about the Paris Agreement? Should we still be in the Paris Agreement?
Look, I certainly thought a few months ago that the only way to break the emissions obsession was to pull out of Paris. I think that the government has lost its emissions obsession now that Angus Taylor is the Energy Minister. So I don't think it is now necessary, but I certainly do think that it's important that we get more baseload power into the system and do it as quickly as possible.
Let's try and get a straight answer here. Should we be in Paris or not?
I'm not calling for us to pull out now.
But you were.
Yep.
But now you're not.
Circumstances have changed.
And what's the change?
We've got a new Prime Minister and a new Energy Minister.
So when Malcolm Turnbull was Prime Minister, we should get out of Paris.
We had an emissions obsession that needed to be broken, and it's now changed.
But you now think it's okay to be in this international agreement?
Well, as we have said all along, we believe that we can meet our Paris targets without substantial policy change and without significant additional costs on the economy. And that was always the basis. That was always the basis on which I agreed to go into Paris with a 26 to 28%.
But in fairness, we've also heard you argue that Donald Trump's taken the US out of Paris. China's got no binding commitment under Paris.
Absolutely right.
That hasn't changed.
Absolutely right. And I certainly don't think that we should put meeting emissions targets ahead of getting power prices down and ensuring that we have reliability. We should not damage our economy in order to meet emissions targets that other people are not going to meet.
So why stay in Paris?
I am confident, based on the advice that the government is now getting, that we can meet our Paris targets without significant damage to our economy and without substantial additional costs.
So for this narrative about damaging